Welcome to the audiobook, The Unloved Mate, written by Skylar. It's a story about Isabella, a nobody in the pack, and all she expects is love from her mate. What will happen when her only hope is taken away? Can she survive on this love journey? Narrated by Melissa Deal and Ben Mitchell, produced by ICN. Chapter 1. Isabella's POV. It was 1:23 at night, or more like morning, and I was still cleaning the last couple of dishes in the sink. I have been working for 20 hours non-stop today. I really needed some sleep. I finished the last plate and sighed. Now I can get some sleep. Finally. I am an Omega of the Howlers pack. My parents are warriors in the pack. I don't know why, but no one loves me here. I am often called names, and sometimes beaten up too. I don't want to be here. But only one thing is keeping me from running away, and it's the idea of finding my mate. I know that he will love me and take me away. I smiled at that thought. Just a week more, Bella, then we will find our mate. He will love us and cherish us. My wolf Nora said in my head. Yeah, hope so, I said. I walked over to the storeroom, which is also my bedroom. The alpha said that I'm no more worthy than the trash that is kept here, if not less. So I have to stay here in the dark and dirt. I am really scared of the dark, but I can't object to the alpha's order. I walk up to the storeroom and walk in. All my possessions are scattered around. Not that it's anything new. Some cruel members do this all the time to trouble me. It's not difficult to sort things because all I own is a couple of baggy old clothes, an alarm clock, a torn-up rug on which I sleep. I don't even have a blanket to keep myself warm. I clean up everything and go to sleep. Good night, Bella, Nora says. Good night, Nora, I said. A week later, I woke up with a smile on my face, which does not happen at all. I am happy because today is my birthday, and I will find my mate. I quickly get up and take a shower in the common shower, which is for the Omegas. It's 5 in the morning, so no one will be up right now. I went to the kitchen and prepared breakfast for the pack. In an hour, I have the whole thing ready. Bacon, eggs, toast, fresh juice, and apple pie. I hear footsteps and I hide in the corner of the kitchen after setting up the table. They don't like to see my face in the morning. All the pack members occupy the 3 long dining tables and serve themselves. I am hungry too, but I'm not allowed to eat breakfast. Only lunch. And that's 2 pieces of toast, a cube-sized chicken piece, and a cup of water. They give it to me so that I don't die. After everyone is done, they leave for school or work or anything they have to do. I clean up the dishes. I put them in the sink and start cleaning them. After I'm done, I go to clean all the rooms. When I reach the 2nd floor, I smell a fresh smell, chocolate and mint. It is really refreshing. Nora starts to howl happily. I think I just found my mate. I followed the scent, which led me to the beta's room. I touch the doorknob to open the door, but as soon as I do that, I feel a stabbing pain in my stomach. I ignore the pain and plaster a smile on my face. I don't want my mate to see me in pain. I opened the door, and my smile fell off my face. My mate, the one who is supposed to love me, is butt naked on top of a similarly butt naked girl, whom I recognize as Morgana, the pack's favorite person, Alpha's daughter. They both sense me and look at me. Mason the beta looks at me and frowns, while Morgana covers the both of them with a blanket. Realization flashes upon his face, which is soon replaced by rage and disgust. Tears are flowing down my cheeks. I leave the room and run towards my room and cry. After 10 minutes, the door opens, revealing Mason. He looks at me on the floor and without a warning kicks me on all the sides. Then a punch on the face. Kick, punch, kick, punch. It goes on until I fall limp on the floor. The last words I hear are more painful than the beating I just received for no reason.
I, Mason Johnson, reject you, Isabella, as my mate.
He spat.
I don't know why Moon Goddess would do such a thing as to pair me with such trash like you. I have a true mate, Morgana. She is going to lead me to the alpha position and actually keep me happy and satisfied, which you can never do.
He continued. Then I blacked out. I feel like my life is slowly being sucked out of my body, leaving me more lifeless than I was before. Being abused and not loved is a different thing, and being rejected by your mate is an entirely different thing. A week has passed since that day, and no one knows what happened. Mason threatened me. Now he beats me openly, and no one does nothing about it. They join in sometimes. My life has been worse than it was. I tried to kill myself sometimes, but Nora did not let me. I have to survive all this. I am afraid of everything. The men that beat me, the women that burned me, everything. I do not speak. I don't scream. I only silently bear the pain they inflict upon me, in hopes that death will be finally bestowed upon me to release me from here. The same day the above scene happened.
Damien's POV. Sometimes I think I have the worst case of bad luck in the whole entire universe. I have to work non-stop. Pack meetings, traveling to other packs, different events that alphas are forced to go to, etc. I am a cruel alpha, I agree, but I don't want my pack to suffer at all. I want them happy. But still, a very important part of me is missing. My mate, my pack's Luna. I am 20 now, and I am still looking for her. I think I should just give up. I travel a lot in hopes of finding her, but I guess I will have to stop now. Today there is a get-together among the alphas of different packs. It is held every year at a different pack. This time, it's at the Howlers. Honestly, I am not a fan of that pack. I have heard the alpha was the beta of the pack, and received the position after mating with the alpha's daughter, which is really cheap of him because she is not his real mate. I stand in front of my full-length mirror and adjust my suit. When I'm satisfied, I walk in my closet for my watch and my wallet. I look at my closet and sigh. About a month ago, I was on a run around the city border when my wolf started screaming, "Mate!" in my head, and I was this close to finding her, but I lost the scent. In hopes of finding her, I had emptied half my closet for her. I take my necessary thing and exit my room. I put on a stone-hard face. No one has seen me smiling, except for a few close ones, and I intend to keep it that way. I meet my beta outside the pack house. We reach our destination in an hour. We exit our cars, and were welcomed by the Alpha Mason and Luna Morgana. We greeted each other, and were soon joined by other alphas, their Lunas and betas. We were seated in the big living room. Drinks were served, and all were engaged in small talks. I was incredibly bored. I needed to get out of here. No one was talking to me. They were terrified of me, and I liked it that way. I mind-linked Nate, my beta, that I'm going out for a stroll. I excused myself. I was finally free. I walked out and instantly got lost. This place is like a maze. I don't know how, but I ended up in the kitchen. I looked around and caught a scent. Honey and cinnamon. "Mate," my wolf yelled in my head. I started doing a happy dance in my head. I frantically looked around, but nothing. Then I focused on the scent. It's coming from a cabinet in the kitchen. But that's not all. The scent is mixed with a metallic smell of blood. I mind-linked Nate, and within 5 seconds he was with me. I quickly opened the cabinet, but what I saw broke my heart. My mate. I carefully pulled out her tiny body out of the cabinet and set it on the floor. Her body was covered in her own blood. Black and blue bruises were on her body. Her breath was short, ragged. I took unconscious body in my arms and went to the living room, Nate following closely behind me. As soon as I entered, I heard people gasp. I laid my mate's fragile and tiny body on the couch. "Someone call a doctor!" I yelled at the people, who were just staring at my unconscious mate in shock. After a minute or two, a lady in a lab coat came in. Must be the doctor. She pulled a chair beside her and started examining her. After examining her, she called for us. I ran toward my mate and held her hand instantly. What's wrong with her? Is she fine? What happened? When will she wake up? I asked the doctor desperately.
She is fine, Alpha. She has multiple bruises on her body, and I guess the injury on her head led to her being passed out. Her 6 bones are broken, and she is extremely underweight. Her tiny frame isn't helping either, and staying in the cabinet for too long cut off her oxygen supply temporarily. And according to me, she should be conscious by tomorrow morning,
She explained. I nodded, and she bowed and left. That's when I realized something. Why the hell does she have bruises? Why was she in the cabinet? And the main question, who did this to her? My sadness was soon turned into anger on the thought of anyone harming my gem of a mate. I rapidly turned around to face the alphas, specifically Alpha Mason. What is the meaning of this, Alpha Mason? I said, extremely calm. He gulped. She is really clumsy and keeps falling on thin air, and about the cabinet, some kids might have pranked her maybe? He said. Who did this to her? I yelled. I had had enough of his lying already. He remained silent. Answer the Alpha! Who did this to our Luna? Nate yelled in protection of his Luna. Luna? She isn't the Luna. She is an Omega. Before he could continue, I grabbed his throat and backed him to the wall. A word against her, and I will rip your head off your body, I growled.
Chapter 3. Isabella's POV. I was woken up by the sound of yelling and things being thrown. I opened my eyes and took in my surroundings. I was on the couch in the special living room. But how did I get here? I was thrown in the kitchen cabinet after today's beatings so that I don't bother them. I looked around and saw someone holding Alpha Mason by his neck.
A word against her and I will rip your head off your body,
the person growled. I tried to get off the couch but fell on my face. I guess my ankle is sprained.
Luna!
A boy said. I looked around confused. He was looking at me but calling for Luna Morgana. Weird. I tried and failed to get up. Suddenly, a pair of strong arms picked me up by my waist and sat me down on the couch. And the weirdest thing is, I felt a tingling sensation where he touched me. I looked at the person and my eyes widened. He is easily the hottest person I've ever seen, or will ever see. He had thick, inky black hair, which I want to run my fingers through. He was very well built, but not in a gross way, just perfect. His face was so beautiful that models would be cowering. He sat beside me with a concerned look on his face. I looked at him confused. He cupped my face and smiled. I kept my blank face. He frowned. I frowned. He smirked. I still frowned.
Hi, sweetheart. Are you okay now?
He said in a deep and husky voice. I gulped and hesitantly nodded.
Good. What's your name, sweetheart?
He asked with a small smile. Isabella. My voice barely above a whisper.
A beautiful name for a beautiful gem, I see.
He said with what looked like love in his eyes. Damien, Luna Morgana's voice said from behind. I quickly got off the couch and bowed to her. She ignored me and threw a flirtatious look at the person, Damien, who sat beside me seconds ago. Damien gently pulled me back to the couch, totally ignoring the looks Luna was giving him. He made me sit impossibly close to him. I was practically sitting on his lap. He was huge. I looked like a kid in front of him. It was like comparing coconut and plums. The difference is big. Damien looked at me and wrapped his hand around my waist. He smiled in satisfaction. Then he looked at the Luna with a glare, and I seriously don't want to be on the receiving side of it. It was that scary.
It's Alpha, Damien, to you, Luna Morgana,
he said. As soon as word Alpha came out of his mouth, I stood up from his oddly comfortable embrace and ran away to the storeroom, terrified. He was Alpha Damien. The Alpha Damien! I don't want any other Alpha in my life, ever again. Chapter 4. Isabella's POV. I don't know what to feel. The person who tortured me is my mate. The person who was holding me is the Alpha Damien. Alpha Damien was well known in the werewolf community. He was like a king without a crown. Everyone feared him. His pack is the biggest one so far. He kills anyone that threatens him or his family. He also has a golden wolf, which is abnormally powerful. That's why most fear him. They know he can single-handedly take an army. But then why was he here? And why was he holding me? And the look on his face? I'm confused. My head started to hurt. I saw the door of the storeroom being opened and a silhouette of a man coming towards me. And I blacked out. For the third time today.
Damien's POV. Why would she run away? Have I done anything wrong? For the first time in my life, I feel nervous of what the other person thinks of me. She's not a random person. She is our mate. Go to her. My wolf, Dom, was yelling in my head. I was about to follow her, but Mason stopped me. Alpha, I don't understand. Why are you behaving like this? Mason the moron said. Yep, that name suits him. I don't need to answer to anyone. But if you're all so curious, then listen. She's my mate, I growled. Everyone gasped. Mason shook his head and laughed. But that is not possible, Alpha. She already has a mate. But he rejected her on sight, Mason said. I was shocked. She had been rejected by her mate. Who in their right mind would reject a gem like her? But a tiny part of my non-existing heart that belongs to my mate is happy because now Isabella can be mine and only mine. Why did he reject her and who is he? I growled. I need to know who inflicted such pain on my Isabella. It was me, Mason said proudly, with the victorious smirk on his face. What is he so happy about? Why? I asked again. Because she's an Omega. I was the Beta. I did not want people to look at me any other way. I want respect, and with that filthy little thing by my side, I would never get it. He growled. I had had enough of it. I have to see if Isabella is okay. I stood up and mind-linked Nate. Show them what happens when someone disrespects or hurts your Luna. I walked out of the room, not missing the smirk Nate gave me before a slight nod. I follow Mate's scent and I reach at her room. I sniff the air and I smell her again. Honey and cinnamon, but mixed with salty tears. I open the door and enter. I saw her looking at me through hooded eyes. She was about to say something, but she passed out. I ran to her and picked her up. She is light as a feather. I took her outside and asked a random person to tell me where I could find the pack doctor. He took me to the small clinic thing in the mansion and left. I went inside and the doctor from earlier was beside me in a flash.
What happened?
She asked, looking at Isabella with concern and worry in her eyes. I told her everything.
Okay, lay her down on the bed, and please, wait outside while I check her.
She said, and I went outside without protesting. I don't want to delay her treatment because of me. I sat on a chair outside, which was not comfortable. I waited for what felt like hours. The doctor came out and I ran toward her. What happened? Is she okay? I asked.
Alpha, Isabella had an injury on her head when I treated her before, and it had not healed properly before a lot of stress was inflicted on her. Her wolf is weak, so it will take time, but she will heal. Just make sure not to stress her out. It can cause serious damage in the brain, and she might wake up in an hour or two.
She bowed and left. I walked in and sat on a stool beside her bed. She looked pale and unhealthy. I will make everything better, baby. Just trust me. I will treat you like a princess. My princess. Just give me a chance, and I'll make everything better, I promised her.
Chapter 5. Isabella's POV. I groan as I wake up from my deep slumber. My head hurts. I try to open my eyes. It takes a lot of effort, but eventually I succeed. The first thing I notice is that I'm sleeping on a bed. I look around and see cream-colored walls and ceiling. A girl comes in. I watch her carefully. She is the nurse, Shaylia, that works with the pack doctor. She hates me. Once I was badly beaten and came to her for some medicine for my pain. She gave me hyperalgesia, which apparently increases pain. That was the last time I took any medication. She noticed me awake and gave me a disgusted look, like she always does. "Oh, so the little bitch is awake," she says in a hushed tone. I look at her confused. Why is she not talking in her usual, shrilly, high-pitched, annoying voice, and gaining the only thing she loves, attention? She shakes her head at me. That's when I noticed a huge figure sleeping on the small sofa beside the bed. I could not see the face, though. Shaylia walks to the man and runs her hand up and down his arm. I try to speak something, but my throat hurts. I see a bottle of water on a table on the side and take it. I gulp down the water and finally feel at ease. I see Shaylia getting irritated when the man... Okay, now I'm also getting irritated by calling him the man. I'll call him Eddie. So Eddie is not waking up, and Shaylia is whispering something in his ear. I reach out for his hand and touch it. Electricity shoots through my hand. Eddie jolts awake. He frantically looks around, and I finally see his face. And I'm not thrilled. Alpha Damien is Eddie. Eddie is Alpha Damien. Ah! I scream when I see him. I am supposed to run away. His eyes widened with worry and concern. I shut my mouth, realizing what I had done. Then I felt something moving on my toe. I slowly unwrapped myself from the covers. Carefully keeping eye contact with Alpha, I looked at my toe and screamed, "Ah! Spider! Spider!" I closed my eyes and screamed some more. I hate spiders. Those filthy little things scare me. A hand was placed at my mouth.
"Shh, princess. I will get rid of it for you. Don't be scared, okay?"
A soft voice spoke. I opened my eyes and saw Alpha Damien. I see him a lot. His hand still on my mouth as he bends down to pick up the spider. He holds it between his fingers and tossed it out the window. I closed my eyes again. The hand was removed from my mouth and I opened my eyes. I saw Alpha Damien very close to my face, smiling like a kid in the candy store with a $20 bill. He looked at me expectantly, and you know what I did? Guess. No? I screamed. Ah!
Chapter 6. Damien's POV. I watched helplessly as she screamed. I don't know what to do. I've never been in a situation like this. I usually smile and laugh when others are afraid of me, but I don't want her to feel terrified of me. I hung my head low and sighed dejectedly. I'm useless. I can't even make my mate feel good. After what felt like hours, she quieted down. It took a lot of effort. Me being pushed in the corner, a couple bottles of chilled water, and a few nurses. When she calmed down, I cautiously stood beside her. Her eyes were closed, but I had a feeling she was not sleeping. I sat on the chair as quietly as possible. I rubbed my eyes and sighed. I have not spoke to Nate yet, so I don't know what happened with Mason the moron, but I have a positive feeling it was not good for him. I felt a hand rest on my shoulder. I turned my head and saw the nurse from before. The dirty look she was giving my mate before didn't go unnoticed. I looked at her in anger and confusion. What the hell does she want now? My wolf Dom yelled in my head. My head is already pounding. Don't you yell and make it worse, Dom. Honestly, he can be a big pain in the ass sometimes. I remembered the nurse looking at me, and again I looked up. She was smiling sweetly. Too sweetly. I inwardly cringed. I don't like her. Not her attitude and the confidence. Absolutely not. I shrugged her hand off my shoulder, and her smile flattered a bit. What the hell do you want? I whisper-yelled. I don't want my mate to be disturbed by some silly creature.
You! I want you, baby. I know you want me too. Why are you wasting your time on this thing when we can spend it together?
she said in a seductive tone. She failed miserably. It sounded like someone was choking her. I stood up, faced her. How dare you? The person sleeping on that bed has a name, Isabella. She is not a thing, and if you think I will leave a precious gem like her for a good-for-nothing blonde bimbo, then you can't be more wrong. I saw the looks you were giving her. I kept my anger at bay because I didn't want my Bella to be any more afraid of me than she already is. But you crossed that line now. Get out of my sight right now, or so God help me, I will rip you to shreds. Literally, I said in a slight raised voice. I would have full-on yelled at her, but my Bella was still resting. The girl scrambled out of the room. Are all the members of the pack stupid? First, the slutty Luna, stupid. Then, the Alpha, more stupid. And then the nurse. Can't get any more stupid. I sighed and ran a hand through my thick black hair. That's when I heard it. I froze on the spot. Turning around, I saw my Bella, and I swear I heard my heart break into pieces. My Bella was crying, and I don't know why. Most importantly, I don't know what to do. I started crying too.
Chapter 7. Isabella's POV. I instantly stopped crying when I heard him sniffle. I looked up and saw tears streaming down his cheeks and sniffing. He saw me looking and slowly walked towards me. He sat on the small stool and took my hand. Electricity. He wiped the tears and ran his big hands in my hair. Don't know what came over me. I raised my hand and wiped his tears too. That brought a small smile on his face. Why? I asked.
Huh?
He looked at me confused. Why are you doing this for me? Why am I feeling like this? Why are you here with me? I asked.
I'm doing this because I want to make you happy and make sure you're okay. And I feel what you feel. Those sparks, I feel them too, princess. And I'm here for you. I don't give a damn about anyone.
He said. Oh, is all I said.
Why did you cry?
He asked. You defended me in front of her. No one has ever done that. I was never important enough, I said and started crying again. He wiped the tears away and pulled me into a tight hug.
Hey, don't say that. You're very important to me, and I will make sure that you are always happy. I promise. I will make everything better, baby.
He said. But why are you doing this? I said, pulling away from the hug and immediately feeling cold.
Because you're my mate.
He said, and I froze. No, this can't happen. I had a mate. You can't be my mate, I said. He cupped my cheek and looked in my eyes.
I know, baby, I know everything. Mason the moron told me. He rejected you. I'm your second chance mate, and I want you to be happy. I want to give you all the happiness that he couldn't give you. I feel blessed to have you as my mate, princess. Please, give me a chance. I'll do anything. Please.
He begged. I was finally having a chance to be happy? With my mate? I want to be happy, but I can't trust him fully yet. I want to give him a chance, but... Ugh! This is so confusing. Give him a chance, Bella, Nora said. Okay. I'll give us a chance, but I still don't fully trust you. You have to gain my trust, I said, my voice barely above a whisper. I saw as his face transformed from nervous to shock to happy to extremely happy. He had such a big smile on his face I was worried it would split his face. He pulled me on his lap and hugged me like his life depended on it.
Baby, I promise I will gain your trust and I'll do anything for it. I'll treat you like a princess. My princess. Oh my God, I can't believe I finally found my mate. I'm so happy.
He exclaimed. I don't know if what I did was right or wrong, but I'm happy.
I can't explain how happy I am. My mate is willing to give me a chance. I couldn't believe my ears. I was doing a jumbo happy dance. in the head, or else Bella will think I'm crazy. I was looking down at her and smiling softly. She smiled back. A small smile, but better than nothing. Oh my God, she's so tiny, so adorable. Oh God, now I sound like a girl. I remembered I had to ask her something. Hey, Princess, how did you end up in the kitchen cabinet earlier today? And please don't tell me some pup pranked you. I know that's not true, I said, looking at her in the eyes. My voice could not get any softer. She started shaking slightly. I could sense her fear and anxiety. Hey, it's okay. If you don't want to talk about it, then we won't, but please don't stress yourself, I said while stroking her hair.
I'm sorry, Alpha. I just can't talk about it right now.
I noticed how she called me Alpha. Baby, please call me Damien or anything you want, but not Alpha. You are my equal, Princess. You have full power upon me. Don't forget that, okay? I said softly but sternly. She nodded her head and I smiled. The doctor walked in with a warm smile. I think she's the only one who likes Bella in the whole pack house.
Hi, Isabella. I'm glad you're awake. I'm the pack's senior doctor, Lucy. Alpha has been worried sick for you. He even scared off a nurse.
Why can't she keep her mouth shut?
I'm sorry, doctor.
Bella said. Why are you saying sorry, Bella? It's not your fault, I said.
So, Isabella, I'm giving you some medications to make you healthy again. Those are to increase the blood in your body and provide missing nutrition. You are too thin and weak. I suggest you eat as much healthy food as you can. Vegetables, fruits, nuts, etc. A bit of fat consumption every now and then, but not too much.
I listened to her every word and plastered them in my brain. If it is good for my princess, I'll do it in a heartbeat. I mind-linked Nate to come here. Nate walks in with a frown on his face, probably thinking why I called him. He looks up and sees Bella awake, and instantly the frown is replaced by a 1,000-watt smile, and there are those weird twinkles in his eyes. I roll my eyes. He always does that when he's happy, even when Mom gives him cookies. Luna, you're awake! You can't imagine how happy I am. I finally have a Luna. Now you can save all our butts from the Alpha. You know, when you were not here, he used to go all caveman on us and make us work overtime. That's plain mean of him, isn't it? He finished with a pout and big eyes. What is it with everyone? All are dead set on embarrassing me in front of Bella today. Bella gasped softly and her eyes widened.
Is that true?
She asked in a whisper. I gave her an unnoticeable nod and looked down on my lap. Suddenly, shape of my fingers seemed fascinating.
You should not do that. Everyone needs rest. What you do is mean. You won't do it anymore, would you?
She asked. I promise, I said instantly. She smiled slightly. I'm happy she's not mad at me.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Alpha. I need to talk to you about something. In my office.
The doctor said. I saw Bella yawning and I gently made her lie down, and she instantly closed her eyes. I smiled and tucked her in. I kissed her forehead and walked out with Nate. We sat on the chairs in front of the doctor.
Alpha, there is something you need to know about Isabella. She has been treated like a slave since she was only 10 years old. She was very young. She had to do all the work for the pack. The pack house has about 70 people living in it. She has been soaking all the pain, mental and physical. She received regular beatings. Never did I see her without bruises or cuts. The pack had done everything to break her, but she didn't in hopes of finding her mate. That will care and protect her. But that last ounce of hope was snatched away when he rejected her. So I have a suggestion. Don't take her to your pack right now. She couldn't handle meeting new people. She will become more closed off. I suggest you stay here with her. Show her that no one can hurt her while you are here. Show her she's not alone. Make her believe she can do what she wants, and not what people force her to do. Be there for her. Make her confident.
The words she spoke brought tears in my eyes, tears of sadness, that she went through so much, tears of disappointment, that I could not save her from this, tears of anger on people who did this to her. I heard a small sniffle and saw Nate with an emotionless face. His face held no emotions, but his eyes said everything. They had tears, too. Anger was burning in them. Hunger of revenge for his Luna was clear. I blinked back the tears and gave a small smirk. "Don't you worry, Doc. I will do anything for Bella. I will make her happy again," I said. I turned to face Nate. "While we're at it, we can have our fair share of fun, don't you think?" Nate smirked in response. "Absolutely, Alpha."
Chapter 9. Isabella's POV. I was really sleepy. When Damien laid me down, I was out like a light. But my peace didn't last long. A crashing sound woke me up. I sat up and saw Luna Morgana glaring at me. I gulped inaudibly. She grabbed me by my arms and threw me off the bed. I crawled in a corner and brought my knees to my chest. I was shaking from fear of what she was going to do to me. She stood in front of me and crossed her hands in front of her chest. "Look at you, being the pathetic self you are. Can't even defend yourself. You think you can make Damien punish Mason for what he did to you? Well, you can't be any more wrong. He will choose anyone over you. You know how useless you are? I'll tell you, no one loves you. Your parents abandoned you. Your mate rejected you. Your pack hates you. Damien will also leave." Before she could say anything else, the door was crashed open. I didn't dare look up. Maybe someone else wants to beat me too. There was a silence for a few minutes before I was pulled onto someone's lap. I relaxed when I felt the sparks. It was Damien. I hugged him with all of me. I don't want him to leave me. I need someone in my life, especially him.
"Shh, don't cry, baby, don't cry. I'm here now. No one's gonna hurt you. Shh."
He cooed at me. His voice was very soft, almost like velvet, sweet as chocolate. He stood up with me, still in his arms. I was clinged to him like a monkey, my arms around his neck and legs wrapped around his torso. My face was buried in his shoulder. He walked out of the room. I took a sneak peek at his face and saw an angry expression. He was angry. At me?
"Don't you even think that?"
He said to me. "What?" I said, confused.
"That I'm angry at you. I'm not angry at you. How could I? You're so cute. And you're my mate, and you haven't given me a reason to be mad at you."
He said, smiling slightly. "Then why are you angry? And at whom?" I asked.
"The stupid pack members. I'm angry at all those people who ever hurt you in any way. And the fact that they hurt you."
He said in an icy cold voice. I gulped. Someone's gonna get hurt. We went to a clearing where all the training is done. Almost all pack members are present here. I feel myself getting anxious. I try to get off Damien, but he holds me tighter. His beta was on stage, and when he saw us, he gave a big grin and waved. I gave a small smile in return. Damien finally put me down on my feet, but kept his hand on the small of my back. He gently nudged me forward. I walked on the makeshift stage and everyone went quiet. Damien took the mic from Nate and looked, more like glared, at everyone.
"As you all know, my name is Alpha Damien. I, along with my beta, came here to attend the get-together. But I found my beautiful mate here. I'm her second chance mate, and I'm proud to be, because I will get the opportunity to mend her bruised heart. I would like you to meet my mate, Isabella."
He brought me forward. I kept my eyes downcast. I was not allowed to make eye contact. Damien put a finger under my chin and held my head up. I saw him smiling at me. He gave me a reassuring nod. I smiled at everyone. I received only glares and dirty looks in return.
"I've heard about a lot of things all of you had done. I don't know why you all did, but now it doesn't matter. I'm staying here with my mate for a while, and while I'm here, we will have some fun with you. I'm gonna make you pay, all right, but much worse than I had planned before."
He finished with a smirk, and everyone went pale. What is he up to?
Mad. That bitch scared my Bella. Bella thought I would leave her. How can I not be mad? but I will not punish them right away. I will kill them slowly. They will experience all the bad things they made Bella go through. I smirked when I saw everyone's face going pale. I walked down the stage and extended my hand for Bella to come down. We made our way towards... Wait, I don't know where to go. Hey Bella, let's go to your room. We can spend some time there, I said with hopeful eyes and a smile.
You won't like my room. It's horrible,
she said, not looking at me. Hey, as long as you and I are together, I don't mind if we spend time in a hut. Just want to spend time with you, I said. Now lead the way, I said, bowing dramatically. I saw her smile. She hesitated but shrugged and started walking.
I know you will not like it, but if you insist.
We were walking for 2 to 3 minutes when she stopped in front of an old-looking door. I recognized the room. It was where I found Bella crying. Is this her room? Is this your room? I voiced my thoughts. She just nodded. She opened the doors. The door made squelching sound when opened. The room was not habitable. The room is more of a storeroom. Trash is thrown carelessly around the room. I can't believe Bella put up with all this bullshit for God knows how long. How could you live here? This place is not fit to stay in. It's a trash room, not made for someone like you, I said, horrified at the thought of her living here.
Well, that's not what they said,
she mumbled under her breath, clearly not meant for me to hear, but anyway, I did. Who are they? I asked. She looked down and didn't answer. Who, Bella? I asked again.
Pack.
She mumbled again. What did they say? I asked.
Nothing,
she replied. Bella, I said sternly.
They said I was not worth more than trash, so they gave me this room to stay in,
she said. I looked around the room again. There was no mattress. Where does she sleep? Where do you sleep? There was not even a mattress here, I asked. God, I sure have a lot of questions today, but I need answers.
On the rug there.
She pointed toward the 90% torn and absolutely rough rug. Come with me, I said, and took her hands in mine. I made my way to the Alpha's room. I knocked once and didn't wait for them to open it. I pushed the door open, and as expected, both were half naked on top of each other. I quickly covered Bella's innocent eyes and glared at them. They scrambled around the room to find clothes. Once they were dressed, I removed my hands from Bella's eyes and kissed her forehead. Didn't go unnoticed how my baby was shaking in their presence.
Alpha Damien, what are you doing here? At this late hour? Is something wrong?
Morgana asked. As you know, I'm staying here for a while, and being used to the comfortable lifestyle I lived in, I don't think I'll be able to sleep in any ordinary bedroom of yours. I need a spacious and bright room, I said. Okay, Alpha. We will have the best room ready for you in 15 minutes. By the time you can do whatever, Mason said, admiring someone. And one more thing. What were you thinking when you oh so generously gave that storeroom to my mate to sleep in, I asked.
Alpha, she was the Omega at the time, and that to the lowest one. No other Omega wanted to share room with her, so we kept her there.
Morgana reasoned. Omega or not, she is still a pack member. And Alpha and Luna are supposed to be a fatherly and motherly figure to the pack. Be their guardians. Not act like bullies, like you did. I want you to apologize to Bella, now, I exclaimed. What?
What?
Both of them said, looking at me as if I'm crazy. Now. We're sorry, Bella, they said in unison. It's Isabella for you. Only I can call her Bella, I said, and left for the new and comfortable room, which I actually demanded for Bella. I couldn't care less if I have to sleep on the couch to make my Bella comfortable.